All right, been waiting to shoot this video. Today's as good a day as any. The river is super off color. It's been raining for 2 days, and we're trying to fish a small stream that's normally dries, and had a couple sort of half looks on top, but nothing really convincing. So we'll go ahead and shoot this. I've been wanting to talk about the bag I've been using for the last couple of years, well, year and a half now, and just wanted to kind of go through what bag I'm using, what's in the bag, and how we've got it set up. So this is a Grundens. It's actually a Rum Runner. It's a roll top waterproof bag, and it's a backpack. I used a sling bag for a while. Never really liked to hit packs just because sometimes way too deep, and the slings were good, but on long days when we're hiking far in, the backpack just always seemed better. So I finally tried a backpack, and wanted to try one for relatively cheaper. Some of those other ones are like 200 bucks. I think I got this on sale for like 60 bucks. I used it when we backpacked into the Black Canyon. I'll throw some footage into that. I actually used it as my main bag. My wife carried a bunch of the other gear and stuff in a nicer bag, but I carried this down so I could fish in it for those days there. All right, here's this bag I've been fishing, but here's that capacity. It was about, with the roll top up, the same size as my other bag, so I rolled with it. But all my fishing gear's in there: pillow, tent, sleeping bag, cooking stuff. I think it's only like a 30 liter, but did well. It was pretty comfortable. But a couple pads on the back, waterproof material, has a waist strap, not the fanciest one, definitely nothing crazy, but most times I'm not using it. On the arm, a couple of zingers, zinger with a set of forceps, and then the other zinger's got a set of nippers, which are really just, you know, nail clippers. And then this little tacky patch, this guy right here, has been awesome. So since sling pack, you can sling around and get to your flies. The backpack, it's a lot harder. You got to actually take the bag off and set it down. Basically just throw a selection of 6 or 7 here, and then most of the day don't have to take off the bag, and I can just swat flies on this tacky patch. Threw a little bit of sort of Velcro on here on both sides on the zinger, clips in there, goes like that. GoPro mount setup is here. I don't love the chest mount, so I've always just used something like this when I'm got the GoPro hooked up. Basically just some zip ties and things to the straps. There's a chest strap, little small chest strap, same kind of thing. And then off of that, we've got another zinger, and then a net hooked onto the zinger onto this back strap here. A couple of straps up top like this. Most of the time I end up throwing my rod tube in these straps here, just run across the back, running horizontal. Sometimes that's not great, but it's better than, you know, having it there and I don't have to worry about if it falls off or if I lose it. A couple of water bottle pockets, and what I may end up doing, Steven's bag has a rod tube sleeve like this, so I may end up doing is cutting the bottom of this and extending it out with some fabric, and then making this longer so that I can throw a rod tube up vertically on this bag. And that's something I've been thinking about doing, just haven't got around to. Other side of the bag, same thing, except it's got bear spray hooked into there. Spent a lot of time going either by myself or with Steven into some backcountry areas, and I usually have the bear spray on me, just in case. Tippet holder on the front here, so if I want to add tippet, I can just swing the bag around and grab tippet. And then there's a pocket on the front here, but I mostly just have trash in it. Sometimes, yeah, see, there's an old NRS raft strap we found, trash, Ziploc bags, things like that. I need to kind of go through that, clean that out. But on the front, there's 3 straps. On the front here, in front of the mesh pocket, we got a couple carabiners. I'll clip different things to this. Sometimes if we hike in, I'll clip my wading boots to here and go from there. The inside generally looks like that. It's just basically a big main pocket. There's not much in it. It's a roll top waterproof bag. Not much in there. There is one zipper pocket, and it's pretty big, and so I mostly just use it for, I'll show you here. So there's the inside, but here's this zipper pocket. I'll call it 10 inches long, and maybe, yeah, 10 inches is probably reasonable. And in there I'll usually throw my phone, throw my keys, that kind of stuff in that bag, just so they don't disappear into the abyss of the big black bag. So the other part of things that I've done to that, and we'll pull all these out right now, is gone on and bought, you know, what I would call them, I guess, I don't know, to me it's like a pencil bag, old school pencil bag from elementary school, but they sell them on Amazon, all these different size pouch bags. And that's what I've got all of my stuff separated into, so that when things go into the bag, they don't just disappear and I can never find them. Which, screw-on indicator there. There's a jerkbait we found at a lake. But generally, the bottom of my bag, I usually have a raincoat. So down in there is a raincoat. That just sort of lives in there just in case it's cold or anything like that. We'll show you capacity really when we go on that backpacking trip, but I had, you know, I had my sleeping bag stuffed in, I had the tent in there, I had all sorts of stuff in this bag. It's been great for the, you know, money I paid for it, and for the year and a half. Really haven't had strap issues or anything like that. I'm sure, you know, some people do or don't, but generally for me, fished, I don't know how much the last year and a half, maybe 100 days, and it's still in, you know, pretty good shape. I mean, some strands here and there. Bottom looks like it's new. Grundon's logo there on the front, but I've enjoyed it. But we'll kind of show you what's in these pencil bags here. So we've got a squeeze water filter in this one. After the trip, I kind of just started carrying that. This smart water bottle is for that squeeze water filter, so you can back flush that water filter. In here, this little orange one, we've got a knife, a stringer. There's some just general rope. There's some shoelaces in here. After we hiked out one time when my boas broke on my wading boots and I had to hike out with a loose boot, threw some shoelaces in. There's a tape measure in there for if we're ever fishing somewhere that's got limits or we actually need a tape measure. Water bottle. This is the reel I was using today. I was fishing the 3-weight. This was dries, so I got one box of dries. This is nymphs and hoppers, so there's 2 more of these boxes full of those. I really like these Umpqua boxes. These are, I forget which product, but I mean, bigger slots that I've got hoppers in, and then nymphs, midges, this, and then the magnet. This is my favorite configuration of the box that they sell. I really like these boxes. All 3 of my boxes look like that have nymphs and dries and mix, which is kind of bigger stuff, some mott flies, worms, kind of things like that. Another smaller one, this has my streamers in it. They're not going to open for me. Streamers in it, a couple foam boxes full of streamers. Nothing crazy. I think one of these is like almost entirely Sculpzillas, and then just different streamers. There's some mouse patterns in there too. Another pocket here. This one's miscellaneous. This has got everything else in it. This has got dry shake. This has, you know, leaders. This has extra tippet. This has all that extra stuff that you really don't use that often. But when you need it, you need it. There's split shot in here. An extra set of, there's contact solution. There's a set of matches, set of waterproof matches. Toilet paper, you know, the emergency things for when when you need them. This just got GoPro in it, so this has got extra batteries for the GoPro. That's split shot. There's extra indicators in here, which we'll put this one that I found in there after I shoot this. And then there's also thermometer. So, you know, in the summers we've been taking temps, trying to get off the water when it gets too hot. This is just tippet. In addition to the rolls I have in there. I buy a lot of tippet and leaders at garage sales and estate sales because it's cheap. You can get a roll of tippet for like $1, and sometimes like a whole box of tippet for a couple bucks, because most of the time they don't realize that, you know, it costs way more than that to buy tippet on spools like this. They're just kind of selling it with fishing stuff. But that's generally what's in there. I mean, it's a bunch of stuff like there, and it's sort of color coded. I generally remember which colors I'm looking for when I'm looking for them, and I'm digging in that bag. But generally the bag I've been using I've been happy with it. I've had no real complaints for the year and a half. I mean, you can see somewhere some seams coming as they're wearing, but not bad. There's no holes in it or anything. I haven't had any straps fall off or rip. Not pushing it to the limits all the time, but that backpacking trip, I definitely had this thing maxed out. I mean, it was standing up like this. Like I said, I'll throw that footage in. Standing up like this with all my stuff stacked in it and then just clipped over the top. And it was pretty comfortable. It wasn't, you know, the nicer backpacking bags, a bag designed for it was probably more comfortable, would sit on your waist and hips a little better for a bigger load, but I really wanted to fish out of it for that trip. So I just dealt with it because it was not that far of a hike in, right? I mean, it was only 3 hours. I figured I could deal with it for 3 hours and have a bag that I wanted to fish out of for the rest of the 3 days we were down there. But been wanting to shoot this video for a little bit. Like I said, I think it's the Grundens Rum Runner. They make a couple other waterproof roll top ones that are similar, that are, you know, a little fancier, have different features, but that's the bag I've been using. Too bad the fishing wasn't a little better today, but wanted to shoot this video for a while, so we'll take it, make the best of it. But thanks again for watching, guys. We'll see you on the next one.